Good morning, everyone. And again, I want to start off today by thanking the first responders for everything they do day in and day out, who are on the front lines, and everyone that's out there on the front lines, keeping the world moving in the right direction. So thank you. And I also want to thank the people that are actually doing the right stuff every day by social isolating themselves, by taking care of themselves, by not exposing themselves to other people, and doing the right thing. So thank you for all that. Unfortunately, last night, we had another person pass away in their mid-50s with underlying health issues. This marks the 12th person now. I say to the younger people out there, there's someone in their 50s. Look around the state, look around this great country of ours. It affects everybody. It's just not affecting people over the age of 60. So my heart goes out to the family. My condolences to the family, and my condolences, again, to the other 11 families, and our thoughts and prayers are with you. As this morning, we're up to 397 positive cases, with 520 people under mandatory quarantine, 75 people under precautionary quarantine, which is up 75 from yesterday. Yesterday, we had 365 positive cases and 477 people under mandatory quarantine. There are now 38 people being hospitalized with a hospitalization rate just over 9.5%. Of those who tested positive, 14 adults are in the ICU. We're starting to see an increase in the positive cases, in large part because of what's going on at SUNY Albany, thanks to the leadership of Governor Cuomo and his team. Can't thank them enough. And this will help Dr. Whalen and our teams to look at this like a math equation and start to figure it out and break it down, how we can best put more practices in place. So I will say to everyone again, please, social isolate, practice social distance, and it's the new norm, it's the new world. So pay attention. Dr. Whalen.
Good morning. As the county executive said, we are seeing an uptick in cases due to the testing. Yesterday, we were able to test 229 residents in Albany County, and if you've been following the daily totals of how many are tested, it's usually a number between 70 and 85. So this is a significant increase. I did get word this morning that the test center had to temporarily suspend operations this morning. As you are aware, these are tents, and there was a high wind advisory. I think this is just temporary, and we'll look forward to hearing an update on when the service is going to get up and running again. I just wanted to mention again, we're hearing some, cautious optimism from downstate about a slight let up in hospitalizations and in cases. And while that is somewhat reassuring, I again want to assert that our trend may be very different from New York City. We may expect our apex to come a little bit later. And even once you get to the apex, it is very important to continue the measures that we have implemented in the community to continue social distancing, because that is working. It is blunting the curve of the diseases that we're seeing in the community. So I would continue to assert the importance of those control measures. Thank you.
Thank you. And great partner, Sheriff Apple and his team, who've been doing a great job, not just with getting the PPE out to people, but above and beyond that, as he always does. And unfortunately, when bars and restaurants closed, and we kept them open just so people could keep them working and continue to feed people, we had problems. So I do want to thank Sheriff Apple for everything that he's doing and continues to do in the community. But Sheriff Apple.
Thanks, Dan, and thank you and Liza for everything you guys are doing to keep the county safe. So just a quick report from the Sheriff's Office. We've got about 35 complaints, maybe a little bit more than that, in regards to restaurants and bars with people gathering inside the bar. We've had bars put paper up over their windows. Listen, folks, we have a lot going on, and we really don't have time to be running around and checking to make sure people are social distancing. The bars that we go and visit, or the restaurants, we have them sign a cease and desist order advising them they were warned the next time you get hit with a fine and or a crime, and that's something that I really don't want to do. As far as some of our staff, I've had a deputy test positive, cleared, nobody else showed symptoms. We had a nurse test positive, cleared, he's back to work, nobody showed symptoms. I currently have one deputy assigned to our Clarksville station who tested positive this week. We have 5 or 6 other deputies reporting to work on a daily basis wearing masks and other PPE to protect themselves and or the others they're working with. If they show symptoms, they will be sent home. But this is what they do. They come to work. We have to come to work every day. We've distributed about 45 to 50,000 N95s and KN95s, about 60,000 surgical masks, about 6,000 gallons of New York State sanitizer, a couple thousand 2-ounce containers of the sanitizer, hundreds and hundreds of boxes of gloves, shields, you name it. As of yesterday, I was the kind of irony, you know, we had a plane land here in Albany with 1 million masks, but yet I was downstate buying masks. Those 400 kits this morning went out to first responders, and we will send a couple thousand masks to our local hospitals, hopefully within the next couple of days. They need it desperately, first responders need it desperately, and like I tell everybody, yes, the hospitals have a much higher burn rate than the first responders, but the first responders are the people that are bringing them to the hospital. So we want to make sure that we have PPE, and you know, for those of you who are hoarding it, there's no award given out at the end of this about how many you saved. So we have them, let's use them. We need to keep people safe. We need to keep people from spreading this. I'm begging people to please social distance. At the jail, we have isolation cells set up. If somebody new comes in, they're isolated for 14 days. Thank God our staff up there has done everything possible to keep it from spreading in that facility. Even though we had a nurse test positive, nobody else tested positive or showed symptoms. So they've done a marvelous job up there. You know, again, it comes down to what Dan has been saying week in, and week out. You've got to please adhere to the social distancing. It's been good weather. People up at Thatcher Park have been mobbed. It's been mobbed up there. It's just going to continue to spread. Things are starting to look good. I think if we adhere to the social distancing for a few more days, maybe another week or two, hopefully we can come out of this. So thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff, as always. And we still got to move forward in life, right? And we still got to put some positive stuff out there because we just don't want to put all this negative stuff out there the way life has changed. But I want to thank our Department of Aging. They delivered more than 20,000 meals in the past 2 weeks and talked to several hundred seniors and families. Thank you, Department of Aging, for everything that you're doing. And a huge shout out to Plug Power for their generous donation of their PPE. Thank you. It was a lot of stuff they dropped off to the Department of Health, and we got it out to the Sheriff's Department. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And beautiful picture of support from the residents at Shaker Place and the staff. You know, they're trying to keep the spirits up, not just the seniors out there, but of themselves. Because like themselves, like, you know, out there, they're on the front line taking care of our most vulnerable seniors. So thank you to the staff out there. And also, I do want to wish a big happy birthday to Rose Nene. Hopefully I said that right, Rose. She's turning 100. She turned 100 actually yesterday, so happy birthday to you. She said she'd be watching. And she's been baking a cake for Lent and giving it to people to lift up their spirits. So thank you. And the sheriff and I look forward, and Liz look forward to eating your next cake and seeing if it's you know, if it's worthy of our appetite. So Rose, thank you. I'm kidding. I know you've been making the cakes, and thank you so much for that. And I do want to wish you a happy birthday. But as always, we have our mental health hotline that's up 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 269-6634. We've been getting a lot of phone calls. Again, people, I'm glad that you're calling. It's there. There's, you know, not only is Dr. Giordano and his staff working it, the volunteers are that are stepping up. Thank you so much. Can't do it without you. And again, you got the 211 through United Way in New York State hotline at 888-364-3065. And again, I want to thank everyone that's been doing that. And John Signer from OTB, again, thank you for getting our message out there to everybody. I do appreciate it. And before we take questions, I just want to remind everyone it's changing times. And I say to people that aren't paying attention, change yourself. You must be the change you want to see in the world. Simply said by Gandhi. Change yourself.